The Jewish Response to Missionaries. This is a powerful, new, and complete 18-part digitally remastered CD series or 24-part cassette series with 423 new pages, plus an in-depth study guide by Rabbi Tovia Singer, a must-have for any library collection. This outstanding commentary is available now for only $99 plus shipping and handling. Order online now at www.outreachjudaism.org or call toll-free 1-800-315-JEWS. That's 1-800-315-JEWS.
Hi everyone! Learning to read the Torah correctly, a company moves into a Jewish community in the Gaza Strip, and a meeting with Haredi actor Shuli Rand. Let's get this show on the road. Shalom and welcome to Israeli Salad. Ever wanted to learn how to read the Torah with the tunes you hear when it's read in the synagogue? Well, at Machon Meir, in addition to teaching the basics of Judaism and bringing people closer to Jewish heritage, they have a course where participants learn how to read the Torah correctly.
ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום ולחושך קרא לילה בערב ויבוקר יום אחד.
On Shabbat and on weekdays when the Torah is read, congregants in the synagogues listen not only to the words of the text, but enjoy the ancient tune traditionally used for the Torah reading. We joined a study group in the Torah Institute of Machon Meir, where we learned that the ta'amim, the notes of the Torah reading, are a lot more than just part of a musical melody that accompanies it. At the Dergah course, Rabbi Avraham Ettinger teaches the participants the rules of reading the Torah.
The Dergah class at Machon Meir gives the people a very sound basis in understanding how the Torah reading is being done, and it even allows them to start doing it themselves.
We learn the ta'amim in order to also understand the influence each note has on understanding the meaning of the verse in addition to learning the melody. We focus on the accuracy of the choice of the words and the letters, makes you relate to each word, to each verse.
The ta'amim in the Torah have two purposes. First of all, they're used to read the Torah with an ancient traditional melody, each segment of our people and their own classic traditional tune. Second, they help to illustrate the punctuation of the verses, and that way the ta'amim enable a deeper understanding of the meaning of the verse and the individual words of the Torah.
It brings you closer to the sources, one, because you feel like if you can read it with the musical notes, then you feel like you've owned it yourself, you've possessed it, the material yourself. And it gives a person a closer feeling to the Torah, that he understands what's going on in the text.
When I read the Torah, I now better understand the punctuation. I begin to understand where the pause occurs and where the verse ends.
You can change the meaning of a sentence completely if you don't understand where the accent in a certain musical note falls on each word. So you can understand the Torah incorrectly if you don't understand the musical notes.
Machon Meir's main goal is to help people come closer to Judaism. So where does this punctuation lesson fit into the Institute's program?
Part of returning to Judaism is returning to the heritage of a clearer and more correct reading of the Torah.
A lot of the people who learn at Machon Meir didn't have a good Jewish education coming up. They didn't learn much about being Jewish. And they are interested when they come to Machon Meir in learning about all the aspects of Torah. One of the important aspects is reading the Torah on Shabbat.
I come from a less believing background. Here in the Machon, I had the opportunity to come close, also to issues in the Torah, and also to the subject of ta'amim. It's a personal connection to the words and to the prayers. wouldn't say that this study is instead of other lessons. It simply reveals another aspect in the Torah that not many are exposed to. When a person gives attention to the details and connects through the melody and the emotions it arouses, only then can you connect to the words, to the meaning.
In his lesson, Rabbi Ettinger uses the Dargah method for learning the Ta'amim. The Dargah method teaches the basic rules and patterns of the Ta'amim punctuation. Although Torah is learned by many, and most bar mitzvah children learn how to read out their portion of the Torah using the Ta'amim, Rabbi Ettinger and his students feel that the learning of how to read the Torah correctly is something that has not been stressed enough in the world of Torah institutes.
When I was bar mitzvah, the chazan of my shul, he taught me. How did he teach me? Like everybody learned by memory. He sang the tunes and I memorized. But I didn't learn that on each word there's musical notes. So I didn't know what it meant.
This important field of the Torah has been neglected, even though it's a base to reading the Torah and understanding the Torah.
It's not complicated. People think it's terribly confusing. But the Dargah method is very, very straightforward, very simple, and teaches you 1, 2, 3 how to learn on a technical level and also on a musical level.
This is the most essential learning. Just like when you teach a child, you begin with teaching how to read. It was always my dream to learn how to read the Torah. It's never too late. Today I hope I will accomplish and succeed. It's never too late.
If you're interested in learning the Dargah method, contact Dargah at webmaster@dargah.org.il. That's webmaster@dargah.org.il. On Israeli Salad 65, we saw how, in spite of the security situation, many companies in the Sderot area decided not to give in to terrorism and to continue to expand and develop. Today, we'll meet a company who decided to show their support to areas that have been bombarded by missiles by actually moving to that area.
Hello and welcome to the Tefillin Beit El branch of the community of Nitzarim. Today we started working in a temporary building. I believe that soon we'll move into a permanent building.
The Tefillin Beit El factory decided that it's not enough to support the residents of Gush Katif verbally, but it's time to act.
We had a board meeting to try to decide what Tefillin Beit El could do in order to help the nation of Israel and the land of Israel. Our mission is to try to help the great people who live here. These people are undergoing continuous rocket attacks, they are under the threat of eviction, and so their situation is not easy. We decided that we must help them. We basically came to give strength to ourselves.
At Tefillin Beit El, they weren't deterred by the expense of transferring part of their factory to Nitzarim. By Thursday, January 27th, half of the production department was already relocated to Nitzarim.
At this stage, everything is working out great. We're settling in, we're working. We've already started receiving new employees from this area.
Two of the factory's employees decided that changing their place of work was not enough, and they moved their families from Beit El to Nitzarim.
We built a home in Beit El, but we decided to live in Nitzarim for the next 6 months. There'll be no eviction, we'll succeed, and we'll be profitable. The whole area will benefit from our presence. Come back and film us in a year and you'll see how we, with God's help, have developed.
Be sure to visit the Israeli Salad website. On the Israeli Salad site, scroll through all the editions, see what topics were presented on each program, and simply click on the icon to watch your favorite program. Also, watch all our fantastic music videos featured right here on Israeli Salad. So be sure to click on www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm. That's www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm.
The winner of the 2004 Best Israeli Actor Award was Shuli Rand. Rand won this award for his role in the movie Ushpizin. Ushpizin is the first film made by members of the ultra-Orthodox community in collaboration with non-observant filmmakers and is aimed at general audiences. His real-life wife, Michal Bat Sheva Rand, a playwright, actress, and director who, like him, turned to ultra-Orthodox Judaism, co-stars as his on-screen wife. In addition to the movie, Shuli acts in the play called Mayim Achronim. Gabi Newman and Miriam Hoffman met Shuli Rand.
I'll tell you the truth. Almighty, the situation is terrible. I'm really sad. I know you hate sadness, but what could I do?
Shuli Rand was a renowned Israeli actor when he became religious around 10 years ago. When he became observant, he vanished from the stage and the screen. And only in the year 2002, he returned to the stage after a long internal conflict.
My situation is not simple. I understand that I'm not perfect. From time to time, I tell myself, leave everything and invest your time in Torah. I'm not an actor that could play any role. Even if I'm offered the most amazing role, I cannot do it if it's not relating to faith or Torah. It could be a complex issue, but it has to be connected to Torah. After all, I create my characters. I don't come to a theater and people tell me what my role will be. I have to be the one to create the role.
Shuli Rand's plays are based on the stories of Shai Agnon, despite Agnon's criticism from the ultra-Orthodox society.
I didn't choose Agnon. I chose his stories. You could see from his stories that he's a great writer, a Torah scholar. He had great depth, great writing, and great language. I would love writing a play based on the writings of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. He has great stories with great messages.
Shuli's plays are highly interactive, as he involves the audience and talks with them about his difficulties as an ultra-Orthodox actor.
Do you really think a serious guy would stand on a stage like this? And what if your child would do that? If a yeshiva student who is learning Torah would come and ask me if he should learn acting, I'd tell him, no, stay in yeshiva. I'll tell him the dangers of being involved in this field. I bring the Almighty, the faith, the fact that there is a God in this world. My goal is not to present the ultra-Orthodox community. In my film, I present the Breslov community of people who came closer to Judaism. The movie Ushpizin has had an amazing impact, more than I'd ever imagined. Many people who came to see the movie were non-observant. It has affected people very much. I've heard of a lot of people who became observant and their parents had a hard time accepting the change, and that the movie helped their families accept them a lot more.
And now our weekly insight. Today we'll be discussing the Parsha, the portion of the week of Truma. Shalom to Rabbi David Sampson in Jerusalem.
Shalom Yoni. Shalom to all of our viewers around the world.
The name of the Parsha is Truma. Truma means donation. The Parsha begins with the story of the donations that the people of Israel gave towards the building of the tabernacle the portable temple in the desert. There was gold, silver, and other materials. Rabbi Samson, these people are wandering in the desert. Where did all this gold and silver come from?
You have to remember, Yoni, that when the Jewish people left Egypt, it says that they borrowed a lot of gold and silver vessels before they left. There's actually an interesting story. In the time of Alexander the Great, the Egyptians came and demanded from the Jews that they repay all of the vessels that it says they borrowed from the Egyptians when they left. And Alexander the Great asked the wise sages to defend themselves. And they said, well, it says in the same Torah that the Jews were forced into labor for 400 years by the Egyptians, and that they never got paid for the forced labor. And that according to their computations, the amount of gold and silver that they took when they left Egypt really doesn't compensate for the amount of work that they did. And the Egyptians still owe them money. And Alexander the Great accepted the claims of the Jewish people, and the Egyptians were forced to run away from Alexander the Great so as not to have to pay the fine.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Samson.
The Weekly Insight is brought to you in cooperation with Machon Meir, the largest Zionist institute in Israel, bringing people closer to Judaism.
Please send your comments, ideas, and questions to the Israeli Salad email, yoni@israelnn.com, or leave a message on the Israeli Salad voicemail at international dialing code 972-3918-5554. That's 972-3918-5554.
Okay, that's all for this week. Be sure to join us again next week for another program. Until then, from all of us here at Israel National News, Shalom.